This video is for educational purposes only. It's not intended for anything more or less, and we will learn how to move in this type of situation. So I came across this YouTube short from Zach D Films. I'm sure a lot of y'all know who he is. He makes them animated videos. In this particular video, it was about a woman who made an ad in a newspaper to like lure men, like I guess wealthy men or just men in general, like to bring like all their money and or whatever, and like she would lure them back to her house, like to so-called marry her, so that they could marry her. And she would end up poisoning them and killing them and taking all of their money. Her name is Belle, Gunness. Hopefully I said that right. We got a little video from Rob Gavangan. Hope I said that right. I decided I'd make a little reaction video to see like kind of more in detail from that, because I was just curious, So let's see what it's hitting for.
Marrying for the money was a sick, twisted art form for this week's serial killer. Today we look at the for-profit killer, Belle Gunness. Let's open the serial
She was
killer
about that
file.
bag. She was about that bag. That's wicked, bro. Like, times is definitely crazy. Like, where a nigga will just see an ad in a newspaper and go to an address and in hopes that they got a woman. Like, what? Y'all really think
Belle was born in
women been playing? Women have always been the same throughout time, bro. Y'all think it's gonna be that easy for you to get a woman and you ain't never had a woman? Cause who you think, what type of men is pulling up? I'm curious to see what like the ad was like.
Into a large family on a small farm.
Hold on. Belle Gunness. And she was from
Belle was born
America?
in 1859 into a large family on a small farm in Norway. Not much is known about her life for certain, and nothing of any note seems to have happened before she reached her 20s. Some sources claim that Belle was pregnant at that time and was attending a dance when she was attacked by a man who kicked her in the stomach. The kick caused Belle to miscarry her baby. Due to the man's wealth and status, he never saw justice for what he did to her. And from that point forward, she seemed to be a changed
because of his
person.
wealth and status. Like, they knew who he was, but like, bro, this 1959, he said 58, 20. This ain't even 1900 yet.
She seemed to change in a way different than one might expect from such a tragic event. Belle, having grown up poor, was
Hold on, he says she changed.
He never saw justice for what he did to her, and from that point forward, she seemed to be a changed person. She seemed to change in a way different than one might expect from such a tragic event.
In a different
Belle,
way, though.
having grown up poor, was able to eventually save up enough money for her to move to America. She moved to Chicago, Illinois, where she met her first husband and had 4 children with him. Together, they opened a confectionery store which failed financially and mysteriously burned to the ground. 2 of their children fell ill sometime later. Their symptoms were in keeping with acute colitis, but also weren't any different from what a victim of certain poisons might experience. The 2 children both died from their conditions. Stranger then, her husband fell ill sometime later and passed away as well. Interestingly enough, he died on the one day in which 2 life insurance policies overlapped. Doctors knew Belle's husband had an enlarged heart and chalked it up to just that. Belle applied.
Oh, she probably did that shit back in Norway. That's how she got up out of there. Shit, what y'all think?
For the insurance money the day after the funeral. Belle took that.
Who I just react to? I just reacted to something about the insurance.
Knew Belle's husband
Somebody
had
doing
an
some shit for
enlarged heart.
$25,000. Oh, dude killed his wife for $25,000 insurance policy and took the policy out like months before he actually killed her though. And was was talking to a new girl, and the new girl told it all. Hey, that video coming soon. I don't know which is gonna be out first of this one, but be on the look.
Interestingly enough, he died on the one day in which 2 life insurance policies
I pray that don't
overlapped.
happen to me, boy.
Doctors knew Belle's husband had an enlarged heart and chalked it up to just that. Belle applied for the insurance money the day after the funeral. Belle took her money, which amounted to $8,500.
I mean, that's what you supposed to do, though.
Which is day after the funeral. Belle took her money, which amounted to $8,500, which is the equivalent to around $250,000.
Yeah, on God, bro, that was a lot of fucking money for a funeral, for a life insurance, shit.
Day and bought herself a farm in Indiana. She made another $50,000 today and bought herself a farm in Indiana. She met another man, a widower with 2 daughters by the name of Peter Gunness. They married in 1902, and around a week later, Peter's infant daughter died while alone with Belle. 8 months later...
What the fuck? So, hold on. So she killed her kids and her husband, so-called apparently, allegedly. Did all of her kids die? 2 of them died. It said they had 4. And she was pregnant at the time in Norway when she was 20 before she moved. So she been like, what happened to them? What happened to the 3 other kids? Oh no, she had a miscarriage. So that happened. What happened to the 2 others though? Did they die too, or I missed that? I must have missed it. But this nigga dies, or no. His child dies.
With 2 daughters by the name of Peter Gunness in Indiana.
One of them died.
She met another man, a widower with 2 daughters by the name of Peter Gunness. They married in 1902, and around a week later, Peter's infant daughter died.
They met? And then a week after they met, the daughter died?
They married in 1902, and around a week later, Peter's infant daughter died while alone with Belle.
Oh, hell no. She already took out that life insurance, bro. So look, check it. She not gonna tell this new nigga that all this didn't happen. She was married, she was married before and had kids, and the kids died. No, cause she finna do the same shit. So she's not gonna tell that man none of that. He probably don't even know that her kids done died, and her husband. You know.
And around a week later.
So of course he'll leave the kids.
Peter's infant daughter died while alone with Belle.
And this is back then, like 1900. I don't. What was diseases and shit that bad back then? I don't want to say it was, but I don't know. She's from the 50s though, 1850s though, like 60s, we'll say. So I know diseases probably then was probably worse than they was in 1990. You know, I'm sure that they were still around. The point is, like, it's back then, like back in those times, bro, when diseases was real, like really fucking up, like you could really die. Like that's why people wasn't living that long. Like, so it would be easy for her to like blame that on, you know, and it not be her fault type shit, and him not really think nothing of that, you know, that the baby was poisoned, you know.
Later, Peter's infant daughter died while alone with Belle. 8 months later, Peter was dead as well. According to Belle, he burned himself in the kitchen and a sausage grinder fell on his head. Though the death was ruled
he burned it in a
as murder, Belle was able to convince authorities that she was innocent.
No.
Peter's brother had Peter's older daughter taken out of the house, a good thing too, as it saved the young girl's life. Belle made off yet again with the insurance money. Belle and Peter's short relationship did produce a child, however.
Bro, if they had life insurance back then. Bro, 1990, that shit was not that long ago, bro. Black Wall Street, 1920, when it got destroyed, that was not that long. That's just 100 years. Yeah, people don't really live. More and more people are getting older and older, bro. You know, it's really not that long ago, bro. You know,
baby
what was
boy
I even
by the
saying
name
that for?
of Peter's life. Belle made off yet again with the insurance money. Belle and Peter.
So yeah, they had insurance policies.
Short
and
relationship
shit
did produce a child, however, a little baby boy by the name of Philip. But all in Belle's family were doomed with the insurance money. Belle and Peter's short relationship did produce a child, however, a little baby boy by the name of Philip. But all in Belle's family were doomed, regardless as to whether or not they were adopted or biological children. And Belle had her desires. She wanted wealth and hated men. So naturally, she put out
what she hit for on the second one? She bought the farm. She up. She got equity.
a personal
You know what I'm saying? She up already.
ad.
250,000 in 1900. Boy, that's $1 million. No. That's what he said. No. She had 8,000. But that's equivalent though. You know, she's up. She's not the richest in the world, but she's up for sure.
She wanted wealth and hated men. So naturally, she put out a personal ad. It read, "Comely widow who owns a large farm in one of the finest districts in LaPorte County, Indiana, desires to make the acquaintance of a gentleman equally well provided with view of joining fortunes. No replies by
Joining
letter
fortunes.
considered unless sender is willing to follow answer with a personal visit." Plenty
So
of
that was
men
her
came-
ad? Hold on. He said it was her ad.
Personal ad. It read,
Yeah.
"Comely widow who fortunes. No replies by letter considered unless sender is willing to follow answer with a personal
No replies by letter. That means that they have to come.
visit. Plenty of men came forward to meet Belle. She would invite them inside, have dinner with them, and of course discuss money.
You think you're the only nigga pulling up? Like, come on.
Men were more than happy to pay for Belle's expenses, such as her mortgage. She'd take their money, and the men would inexplicably vanish. Those who happened to be riding by her property at night would sometimes see her digging in her hog pens. In 1907, with all of her money, Belle hired a farmhand named Ray Lamphere. Around a year later, Belle started having trouble with Ray. It was believed that Ray was deeply in love with her and often took on any task she could possibly ask of him.
Bro, she
But
was
Ray
not even cute. Like, by any means, bro. By any
He
means.
wasn't wealthy and had nothing to offer her, so she eventually fired him. She complained that Ray was incredibly unstable and was a threat to the public, and even managed to subject Ray to a sanity hearing where he was declared sane and released. Though she claimed her life was threatened by Ray, she went to other authorities, but never to the police, which raised suspicions. Truth be told, it's believed that she was setting the stage for her most horrific crime yet. And everything soon went up in smoke. On April 28, 1908, Belle's new farmhand awoke in his bedroom on the second floor of Belle's home to smoke in his room. Upon opening his door, he was met with a wall of flames. He tried calling to Belle and her children, but got no response. He was forced to jump from the second-story window, barely escaping. By the time he was able to run and get help, the house was a smoldering ruin. Inside, Belle's 3 children were found charred in their beds, and a woman's corpse, which had been decapitated, was found charred along with them. Immediately, authorities suspected Ray, and he was charged with arson and murder. He was tried a short time later, but evidence weighed in his favor. One crucial bit of evidence was that the headless body of the woman's remains found in the house didn't match the measurements of Belle. Some experts claim that the body found couldn't have possibly been Belle's at all. Ray was still convicted of arson, but acquitted on the murder charges. He was sentenced to 20 years in state prison, where he died a year later of tuberculosis.
What the
Before
hell?
Ray died, he claimed that Belle had murdered a
Wait. So her kids was in his shit? Or am I tripping, bro? I don't want to keep
number
bringing
of
it back,
men
y'all.
and had
I know y'all
taken
like that.
money from them. State prison, where he died a year later of tuberculosis.
Wow.
Before Ray died, he claimed that Belle had murdered a number of men and had taken money from them. By his count, she allegedly accumulated $250,000, which is near $6.3 million today. That being said, when investigators checked her bank accounts, there was little left in them. She had withdrawn almost all of her money right before the fire. When authorities inspected Belle's property, they dug up body after body, men, children. Only one child ever escaped living with her, and that was Peter Gunness's oldest daughter, who was taken away by her uncle.
Wow.
Only one man
So she did kill all them.
invited to her property as a potential suitor escaped, when he caught her before she tried murdering him in his sleep, but never reported her. All in all, it was discovered that Belle had killed over 40 people, and with suspicions that she planned out the elaborate escape, she was nowhere to be found. All that remained were the corpses. Belle became a popular part of criminal folklore in America.
She didn't die in that shit, did she? In that fire? Or did I miss
The sheriff
it?
in charge of her case received reports of sightings regularly for the next 20 years after the fire. The true fate of Belle Gunness folklore in America. The sheriff in charge of her case received reports of sightings regularly for the next 20 years after the fire. The true fate of Belle Gunness? Well, that's still unknown. Thank you for watching, and I hope you...
So she disappeared? Hold on.
By the time he was able to run and get help, the house was he was forced to jump the wall of flames home to hand, and everything soon went up in smoke, setting the stage for her most horrific crime yet. And everything soon went up in smoke. On April 28, 1908, Belle's new farmhand awoke in his bedroom on the second floor of Belle's home to smoke.
On the second floor of her home, okay.
Room. Upon opening his door, he was met with the second floor of Belle's home to smoke in his room. Upon opening his door, he was met with a wall of flames. He tried calling to Belle and her children, but got no response. He was forced to jump from the second-story window, barely escaped. Opening his door, he was met with a wall, forced to jump from the second-story window, barely escaping. By the time he was able to run and get help, the house was a smoldering ruin. Inside, Belle's 3 children were found charred in their beds, and a woman's corpse which had been decapitated.
But it wasn't hers, and she disappeared. A woman's head decapitated? Nobody ever knew what happened to her? Well, I learned so much about high school, my teacher. So, bro, there was a woman's head decapitated, and nobody ever knew what happened to her. Nobody ever knew what happened to her. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Down in the comment section below, man. TYP the name. If you made it to the end of this video, you bored, check out this video to the left. Or check out my music to the right. Just drop some new shit, all platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, all that good shit. I'll get at y'all on the next one, and I'm gone. TYP the name.
TYP the name, you know that this the way of life. I ain't never read the gang, but I feel like gang tie. I've been really pushing P, put the P in TYP, that nigga.